returned from lunch at Norman's Soup Kitchen, which a fellow told me it's not a soup kitchen. We never have soup here, and we don't. We have really good meals at our soup kitchen. And uh, anyway, I just returned on my bicycle. That's the reason I got my helmet on. Thought I'd leave it on. You don't need to look at my bald head. So, and I'm sitting in a little different position than I usually do because I'm trying to get out of the wind so you can hear me and not the wind. So I've been thinking about something that I read uh, from a pilot that I follow who flies a Bonanza like I used to fly, and he said pilots learn three things: to dream, to hope, and to persist. And that's what we do. We dream about flying somewhere. We hope to hell we get there, and we persist till we do. And that's what we've got to do with the NEAT Act. The NEAT Act is the most revolutionary legislation that's ever been introduced into Congress. And if you read it and let yourself understand what you're reading, you will understand that it is the most revolutionary piece of legislation ever to be introduced into Congress. And it was introduced by Dennis Kucinich, former congressman from Cleveland, Ohio. When he introduced this legislation, the Republicans got him gerrymandered out. They were they were tired of fucking with someone that knows what he's talking about. And not only do we dream, we know what needs to be done, and that is we've got to change who creates money. For right now, and for all the history of capitalism, the bankers have created the money. The money was created by private people. Uh, and you know what they want? They want it created in such a way as it maintains their status and their income. Well, folks, we the people can get our status. We were told we were all created equal. That was a lie, wasn't it? And but we were told that, so we're going to stick it to them. They're going to have to treat us as equals, and and we will create our money. God, there's so many people that'll just say, no, you can't do that. We'll just take advantage of the system. Hell yeah, we'll take advantage of it, just like the bankers have taken advantage of it. Except this one, it's going to be for us people. And you know, in recent history, the people that got closest to being human beings were the Beats and the Hippies. Yeah, and they didn't have any income. Well, with the NEAT Act, they will have income and be able to uh, uh, influence our Congress, our legislation, and get them and us taken care of. We can have a universal basic income of $50,000 a year. Yeah, I said it, $50,000 a year. That isn't extravagant because, as you might think, because if minimum income had kept up with the increase in productivity since the 1950s, that's what the minimum income would be, 50 grand a year. I had an iron foundry back in the 50s and 60s, and we paid like three something an hour. But you know what? All our employees had owned their own homes, they had their own cars, they had a middle class life, and now $3 an hour ain't gonna make it. But if you get it up to 15, $20 an hour, yeah, we can make it just fine. And and if it's a guaranteed annual income, We can tell our boss to fuck off if we don't like what we're being told that we have to do. Uh, we don't have to compromise like so many of us that have had to work in the low level jobs know that we had to compromise who we are to the boss, to our fellow employees that enforced uh, the rules for the boss. We had to compromise that all the time, and probably most of us did like I did. We did just the minimum that we had to do. Uh, we Hell, I've always done the minimum we had to do from school all the way through. I got a degree in money and banking, and uh, I, I did the minimum. But you know what? They never taught us what we needed to know. Never. They never taught us about how money's created, and what they taught us about how money is created was a fucking lie. They taught us this 10% reserve, and if you keep 10% in your loan, it'll go fuck. Uh, uh, it, that never existed because when a bank makes a loan, it creates the reserves right then. They might not have the reserves in their on their books, but the reserves are in the system, and if they need money that night, they can borrow it that night. And so uh, we need to learn how money's created, how it's influenced us since the 17th century. Okay, and and the Puritans won our first Civil War here in America, in North America, when they tore down the maypole at Marymount and sent the natives back into the forests and the leaders to England. Uh, that's gonna. Uh, that was we lost the fucking war, man. The first Civil War. With the Need Act, we can win the next Civil War. There'll be plenty of wars and plenty of lies, plenty of half truths, plenty of misdirections. If we if we get a guaranteed annual income and can go to Washington D.C. and make it into another Woodstock, 24/7 from spring to fall every year, uh, and be in uh, our elected representatives' office and not let them uh, avoid us. Believe me, they will try to avoid us because we're not going to be able to pay them what the bankers and the elite can pay them. But when we get the Need Act, the bankers and the elite won't be able to pay them what they do now because they're not going to be able to create money. We're gonna we're gonna be able to tell them how to create money, and we don't need uh, the Puritans amongst us to be the ones that tell them how to spend money. It needs to be us, Beats and Hippies. Remember Allen Ginsberg and Burroughs and Jack Kerouac? That's who we can be. And we can drink and fuck and dance and make sure that everybody can do that. And the drinkers and the fuckers and the dancers, do they want to go reform the rest of the world and make it like the city on the shining hill? No. Hell no, we just want to be left alone to drink and fuck and dance. So, anyway, the NEAT Act has three parts, real simple. It nationalizes the Federal Reserve, puts it in the Treasury, where the executive has control of it. It ends fractional reserve banking, uh, which is how the bankers can create money, and it ends and it begins spending money into the economy for the things that we want. Okay, not tanks and bombs and weapons and hell, that's one of the major three legs of Oklahoma's economy where I live is military spending. We got military bases all over this state and weapons manufacturing, uh, from high tech to dumb bombs. Uh, we do it all here in Oklahoma. We are killers of the earth. So, and you see them, you see the people that work in these industries down on our main street every Saturday, eating dinners, enjoying the high life, and we can stop all of that, and 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 we can have the income, us hippies and beats. So there was a movie uh, recently on the Beat generation of called "Kill Your Darlings." Uh, Ginsberg, Burroughs, and Jack Kerouac and others, uh, and how it all started at Columbia, and uh, it's called "Kill Your Darlings," and hell, I'll put a link to it in my description of this video, and you can watch it and think about it. So, okay, let's. I think I'll end this now. I can't see my screen, so I don't know how much time I've got. But anyway, I'll end this now and talk to you again soon. We can dream, we can hope, and we can persist. Bye now.